All right, now to a rare public dispute between NATO and Ukraine. The U.S. and NATO say the missile that killed 2 people in Poland was actually fired by Ukraine, which was defending itself against the Russian barrage. But Ukraine's government says the missile is Russian. We've got correspondents in both Poland and Ukraine. We begin with Charlie D'Agata in Poland. Charlie, good morning.
Good morning. Here's the scene this morning in the village where that missile landed. Police have cordoned off the area. It struck a grain facility, killing 2 men just a few hundred yards away from this school, which remains shut today. There is a military presence here, soldiers on the streets, residents still in a state of shock. We're told U.S. investigators have been working with Polish teams on the ground. Polish officials reiterating there is no evidence that the missile was.
I still don't believe, like some more conspiratorial-minded people, that like Ukraine deliberately shot a Russian missile to make it seem like Russia shot it so they could fucking like, you know, bring Poland into the war or whatever. I don't believe that. But the more Ukraine keeps saying, no, it was definitely Russia, I promise, the more I'm like, why are you saying this? Like, what are you doing? You're going to get bullied by like all the NATO leadership. Like, I don't think it's a false flag. I think Ukrainians are not that fucking stupid. It's one of the most like traceable things you could do in a fucking active war zone. Okay? But why the fuck are they still running on the narrative that like, no, actually it is literally, no, it's a Russian missile. It's like when the fucking Polish government is saying it's not a Russian missile or it's not fired by Russia, okay? When the rest of the world's like, no, it's still Russia's fault because, you know, it's an accident. It's an accident caused by Russia invading Ukraine. So it's still their fault. And Ukraine's like, no. It's literally a deliberate Russian missile. It's such a weird, I don't know why they're still fucking jumping on this.
Launched by the Russian side. That tallies with the U.S. and NATO. However, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has broken ranks, saying this is not our missile and not our missile strike. President Biden reacted to those remarks, saying
that's not the evidence.
Ukrainian officials have been demanding access to the site. The president's office here said that's likely to happen. It's just a question of when. Now for what's happening inside Ukraine, here's Chris Livesay.
Charlie, Ukraine awoke to yet another barrage of Russian missiles. Several were reportedly shot down right here in Dnipro, but not this one. That blast wounded 14 people, including a 15-year-old girl undergoing surgery. Now, President Zelensky was initially adamant that it was not a Ukrainian missile that struck Poland, but a Russian one. However, this morning, the spokesman for Ukraine's Air Force was less certain. He told CBS News that it didn't matter whose rocket it was, Ukraine's or Russia's, since it was during a Russian airstrike that triggered Ukraine's defenses. And he added Ukraine's Air Force is still gathering evidence, and now President Zelensky is stressing the same point, saying we need our specialists to join the work of the international investigation and for us to get access to all the data from the site of the explosion available to our partners. Nate?
Chris and Charlie on the scene. Thank you.
Happening today,
I love people being like, I love people being like, I'm so fucking pro-Ukraine that like, I believe that I believe Ukraine unconditionally in this situation, and it's definitely NATO members lying to the world to avoid World War III, which could be the reason. But it's wild. Like NATO Andes are now turning on NATO. Like they jumped the gun. Turns out they just wanted they weren't even pro NATO. They were just pro World War III.